Welcome to Everything Financial Podcast. My name's Diana Feliz, and today with me we have from 21st Century Travel Insurance, Richard Jezior. And he's here because he's going to clarify and give us some really important information that's going to impact you with the changes that's going to happen soon with regards to Ohip. So heads up, if you live in Ontario, if you're a resident here and you'll travel outside of Canada, even if it's one day. So what does it mean to all of the snowbirds, the young snowbirds, the old snowbirds? Maybe we're going to talk a little bit about that. What does it mean when we say changes to Ohip are coming?
Big changes to Ohip are coming as of October 2019. For Ontario residents traveling outside of Canada, the rules as of today are the following. We have basically two payers. Number one payer is Ohip, our provincial plan. Provincial plan doesn't cover the total expenses that we might incur during our trip, but Ohip as of now basically is covering up to $400 a day in expenses. This is a general rule. Now, second payer, private company, you might have a group benefits at work. For example, if you purchase additional insurance, it basically means that a second payer, this insurance company, will pay whatever Ohip has not. So this is as of today. Even as of today, if anybody travels outside of Canada, I would strongly recommend getting insurance. Why? Because $400 in the United States, as you probably imagine, is not going to last for too much of any treatment. So as of now, you can purchase additional insurance that would cover you for emergency treatment, meaning hospital stay, doctor's visits, possibly emergency return to Canada, prescription medication, diagnostic services. As of October 2019, Ohip will basically disappear from being payer number one. So if you happen to be traveling after this change outside of Canada, you should definitely purchase insurance that would cover you for emergency treatment. What does it cover? Sickness, accidents, doctor's visits. This is what basically all of us should purchase regardless of age. The growing number of population, snowbirds, we call those people not older, but from more advanced age bands, they travel to the United States for up to 6 months as of now. Ohip covers us up to 214 days. But now if you travel for any amount of time and if you're snowbird, it's not that you just purchase insurance that would cover you. A lot of those snowbirds have medical problems. So the basic issue becomes, I would like to get a coverage for what I have. We call it pre-existing medical condition. So if you have any chronic condition, for example, hypertension, high cholesterol, something that requires you to take medication or receive some sort of treatment, you could be covered for what you have if this condition is stable. So that's very important. For young and healthy people, I can understand that this, until now, it hasn't been a big issue, but it will be because you have to pay for emergency treatment yourself. Now, if you're older and you have medical problem, this becomes number one priority to have it covered.
So right now, anybody is covered for at least the emergency treatments and medical expenses. But as of October 2019, there will be no type of medical coverage from our provincial, the Ohip coverage. So that's why what you're suggesting is kind of like a mandatory option to take.
Mandatory in the sense that yes, if I realize that there is nobody that is going to actually chip in towards the expenses, I have to take care of it myself. And the medical hospital emergency costs in the United States, as you probably know, are astronomical. So you have to have a coverage.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a coverage for pre-existing medical conditions, for accidents, and this is going to be the only basically company that would cover those expenses with of course, with Ohip disappearing from picture.
So is this a huge expense that's going to be added in terms of our travel, or is it something that's moderate and it's very doable?
Premium is always a factor in insurance of risk. So young, healthy people, they pay the lowest premium. The older you get, the more medical problems you had, of course, the risk exponentially goes up, and then so does the premium.
So what is the process for someone to be able to acquire this type of insurance and be able to engage, like get this insurance coverage?
It's basically for any consumer to receive, to have a policy in force, it's a three-step process. What are the steps? First step is eligibility. So there's a number of questions that insurance company will ask you. And to qualify for insurance, basically, what does it mean? I have to answer all those eligibility questions no to be insured. Second step, if I'm healthy, it's not an issue. But if a client has medical problems, then the question is if you have a pre existing medical condition that is stable, it could be covered by the insurance company. So, first, eligibility. Am I insurable? Second step, if I have a pre existing medical condition that is stable, is it covered or not? This is the main issue, especially for these people who already have medical problems.
And I like to add an emphasis there. Let's just call this a tip based on your other earlier presentation is that it's best that you never lie on those questions because I heard that you can be denied completely after you think you're covered just because you got away with answering no to all of the questions or, lied.
Insurance contract is a legally enforceable contract. So yes, in exchange for the premium that insurance company receives, they expect truthfully answered questions. Yes,
Yes.
if those questions are incorrect, if they are material misstatements, then it might affect the claim.
Which is why speaking to a licensed professional in this regard is really, really, really important because sometimes those questions you may not exactly understand them and you say, I don't think I have that. And then you end up answering no, for example, or yes. And then in the end, so that I think is a real value add with speaking to an advisor or representative. So thank you, Richard Jezior. He's from 21st Century Travel Insurance Limited. That was great insight, great information. And now you know if you're traveling outside of Canada as of October, you need to speak to him.
Thank you.